Okay, so now when we take a look at EquityGroup.com, the new Vault system here, this works as a single-page app within your browser, right? So basically, it loads an app within your browser. So what you don't want to do is click back. When you click the back button anywhere in the whole platform, it's going to say, do you really want to leave this site? And that's because this thing loads as an app within your system. So everywhere you need to navigate, you can navigate within this existing platform. So you'll do that a couple of times. Don't get frustrated, because after you do it a couple of times, you'll remember, you'll never do it again. So quick navigation of how to get through this system. Upper left-hand corner is the logo. You click it at any given time, you get this home page. Or you can go to home and then my home right here, and you get the home page. This is a nice little quick index bar. Let me show you what this does. If I start typing in the name Lisa, I get other agents within the platform named Lisa. And by platform, I mean within Equity Group, right? I get a contact as well. Let's say I'm looking for something that's specific to the document center. I start to type in broker, and I get a bunch of broker instructions, broker sheets, different PDF forms in the document center. If I was looking for a specific listing, I could type in a specific MLS ID, and as soon as I start to type that in, I get matching MLS numbers, and this would take me to that property record, and I can view all the fields and all the stuff. So again, we're pulling everything from Willamette Valley, RMLS, and soon to be Northwest MLS in here. And so as we do that, if you want to just go quickly check a bunch of fields for a Northwest MLS listing or RMLS or whatever, just come into the platform, or if you're already here, just start typing in a number at the top, and you'll be able to get those agent records right here, and document center records, MLS records, listing records, contact records, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's a nice little thing at the top. Don't forget about that. That'll save you a lot of time and frustration. All right. So continuing to move from left to right, this over here is our profile section. Those 400 of you or so that were trained last week, most of us got through the profile section together. There were plenty that wanted to spend a little bit of time on their bio, a little bit of time maybe on their zip codes. So I'm going to flow through the profile section just real quickly. I'm going to click on that link. I'll point out a couple of things. Most of this is fairly self-explanatory. Make sure your proper mobile number is in there, okay? If you want to change your picture, just go ahead and click Attach File. You can also crop on the fly right here, so you can just use our cropping tool. If you attach file, put something in here, and it's not the right proportion. If you have your own brand, this would be your brand logo. So this would be something like your individual agent logo. If I was marketing, Ken Elmer sells Portland, and I had a cute little logo or whatever, that piece right there, I could put in here, and this will show up on reports and the agent website. Make sure your professional title is accurate, so that should either be broker or principal broker. Don't worry about license in Oregon or Washington. We are going to take care of that at this time regarding your overlapping of states. That should not be an issue. Here's your bio section. To edit the bio, we click on Edit. Once you get to this level right here, you can do whatever you want to, just like you would do with a Word doc, right? So you can use like this for bullets and numbers over here. You can actually jump to source code if you want to and dump in some embedded video. That's always great on a bio section. This bio only shows up in one place on the website, and that is on the company profile page. So on the company profile page, this bio shows up. It'd be a great place to have a little testimonial video or a video about yourself, something like that. So you can dump that in with the source code. If you don't know how to embed a video from YouTube or Vimeo or one of those services, come back at the noon hour, and the same way you would do it on here is how you do it on the individual agent websites and the individual agent website pages. And I will show you at that time. We will actually go through embedding video at that time. Okay? So if I'm finished with my bio, I click OK. We're scrolling down the page a little bit. Let me point out a couple more things. Zip codes. All right, so what are we doing for zip codes? This is for lead routing. And again, for lead routing, it's important that I get zip codes from you so we know how to route your leads. So this kind of works a little bit like your existing Main Street does, but it does not pull zip codes from there. Remember what I said at the beginning? This is different than that ecosystem. So for zip codes here, I want a maximum of 10. Give me 10 zip codes that you would like to be involved in receiving leads from. All right. If you put the same zip code in multiple times, it does not weight that differently. So I'm just going to assume that you forgot that you already put that one in. I'm still only going to give you one chance. The other thing I would really encourage you to do here, don't feel like you need to come up with 10 total videos, right? When it comes to lead routing, what we really want at the end of the day is all leads to be handled and all leads to be responded to. And if you end up putting a bunch of zip codes in there just to try and fill up the 10 that you are never going to reply to, then that just really doesn't serve the consumer very well. So keep your zip codes to actual leads that you want, and I think that'll better serve everybody. All right, we're scrolling down the page. We've got languages and designations here. We're going to add a few more designations. We've got those in the queue to add. One of the things that you're going to see show up next week are RE/MAX awards, both the local awards and the national awards, and not designations, but the awards like diamond level and those kind of things. So you'll see those pop in. Those will be displayed on the profile page. We got that request last week. I think it's a great request. And so we'll send out an email, or the marketing team or IT team will send out an email and let you know to come back in here and take a look when those are ready, and you can check out your specific awards. Last two things at the bottom of the page, you've got your email signature. This is editable just like your profile, so you can drop a hyperlink in there. If you want to know how to do a hyperlink, you just highlight the area you want to link to a hyperlink, and you click this little globe button that says link. When you do that, you just tell us where you want the link to go, click OK, and that's it. Okay? Pretty straightforward on how to do a hyperlink. A lot of you had that question last week, and that's totally fine. This I already did, so I click OK. And then the last piece down here is make sure that you get your social media icons in. All you need to do is go grab the link from whatever social media that you want to put in here. Make sure that when you do this, you grab the link of the bio page. So when you go to LinkedIn and Facebook, right, the first page you come to is the feed page. We don't want the feed. We want you to click on your headshot or click on the business page, go to your profile page, or in Facebook, go to your business page, and then just grab the URL up at the top, copy, and paste it right down into here. Really, really straightforward. We're going to add two more onto here, your Zillow reviews and your Realtor.com reviews. And so you'll see those pop up next week as well, and you can just put the URL directly to the page that shows your specific reviews for Realtor.com or Zillow. So I think that's going to be a really nice feed. Okay, so this report, this page, pretty straightforward. Again, not a lot of complications. We click Save It, Close at the top, click OK, and now we're back to the home page. Everything we do today, we're going to come back to this home page as our point of reference, right, to make sure that we all really understand how to navigate through the system. So we took a look at the index bar up here. We took a look at the upper right-hand corner for the profile. If you need to change your password, you do it there. Right here is a whole bunch of drop-downs. I'll go through them very quickly, and then we'll get into contact importing, because that's what I think a lot of you want to handle in this first half an hour. So this is an agent and office search throughout your company. So if you need to see somebody else within the company and get in touch with them, you can through here. All your contacts and leads, we'll come back to here in about 2 seconds. Calendar is right here. Listings is right here. So if you want to search for anything in any of those MLSs, you can do it with property search. If you come back during one of the future sessions, I believe it's the 11:30 session. No, it's the 11 o'clock session. We'll be doing market reports, and we'll be doing how to set up people on Home Finder listing alerts. And so for that, we will use some of this property search stuff right here. So for there, we'll be able to search our existing system that searches through RMLS, grab listings or search profiles that you want to match, and then send those out from there. And then marketing is where we're going to spend a bunch of our time today. Market reports, property detail reports. I showed these off last week, got a ton of great feedback. These will be really the bread and butter of your CRM automated stay in touch system. So you'll definitely want to handle those today. In the next session in about 15 minutes, we'll do flyers and open house registrations. And so remind you how to do those as well. And then on the right-hand side, everything that I'm doing today will be in training videos next week. As well as anything else that we feel we need to put in there for training videos. So all of this is being recorded today. And then Document Center, you've got all of your existing eTools documents in here. And if they're not in there yet, they will be shortly. The marketing group is putting all those in. These are just your tiles that go to different pieces within the platform. as well as some outside sources. So ZipTools is going to be added down here next week. We've got a couple of different pieces in here as well. Probably RMLS is here. I think we'll put Willamette Valley in here. MyEquity is right here, so you get the idea of all the stuff that's here. All right, that's a general tour of how the system works. Remember, this platform works great on your cell phone. It works great on your tablet. The views are sometimes a little bit different on your tablet, but it's meant to work through all the different mediums that you're using throughout the day. So what does that mean? Well, if you're out meeting with a contact at Starbucks, you can pop up your cell phone, look up their contact record in 2 seconds, and set them up on a market report right there, or add a note to their file, or change around their contact profile, or whatever you need to do. Everything we're going to talk about here today, you'll be able to do on your phone, which means you can be much more mobile than you've ever been regarding your exact CRM. All right, so that's the existing system here. Let's talk a little bit about importing contacts. So I'm going to go here to Contacts and Leads, and I'm going to go to the first button which says Contacts and Leads. As you get leads in the system, these 3 tabs have to do with your leads. So here's a whole bunch of test leads that we've got in the system right now. Here's all the leads that have ever been dealt with and over to me. These are the ones that were assigned to me, and these are the ones that I accepted through either the round robin or came through on my agent website. Okay? So all my contacts are in this button that says Contacts. If you had contacts in the old Delta Media system, then those should already be in here. And a lot of you have contacts that you haven't had, or that you don't recognize. A lot of you have contacts in this system that you don't recognize. And we pulled everything in from Delta Media. So a lot of people have stuff in there from 5, 6, 7 years ago that they just haven't looked at in a long time. Maybe leads that got offered to you that didn't pan out, and you've kind of forgotten who that person was. We've moved all that over. So feel free to, put them in an old group or whatever you want to do to kind of segment them if you want to just kind of keep them out of the way. Real quickly, a few things that you can do. You can sort by all the different fields up at the top. So I can sort by email, sort by last name, sort by first name. If I want to move around and associate these with different groups, right? So here's this group is part of 1213's import. This person is not part of a group. This person is part of 2 groups, family as well as 12.7 import. And I can see on my groups if I go to here. So these are all the groups that I have in the system. You can have as many as you want. How do we manage groups? We go to Contacts and Leads, and the second to a toggle says Groups. Here we've got a bunch preloaded: buyers, family, friends, neighbors, prospective buyers, prospective sellers, and sellers. And then here we've got ones that I've added on my own. So to add a new group, and some people would call these a category, and that's totally fine. I just click on New, and I click on Test Group for Training, and I click Save and Close, and now that new group is created. Okay, so right down here, Test Group for Training, that's my new group. And then if I want to go back over here to Contacts, I can assign anybody I want to that group by just clicking as many as I want, click on Manage Groups, and then drop them in Test Group for Training, and I hit Apply. Okay, when I do that, I'll refresh the page. Now you can see that these top 3 are in Test Group for Training. Doesn't mean they still can't belong to other groups. You can have one contact belong to multiple groups. And let's say I've got Mackenzie here, and I want to put her in multiple groups at the same time. I would just click on this little Edit button. That pulls up her contact record. So here's all the information I've got on Mackenzie, which is one of my daughters, by the way. So I've got her birthday and home anniversary. I've got fields for just about everything. And if these are all my groups right here, and so I can go ahead and say, well, she's a prospective buyer, she's also family, and she is also a neighbor. And I can mark her in all those different groups, hit Save and Close, and now she's a part of all those groups. So I come in here, you see Mackenzie, prospective buyer, neighbor, and family. All right, one thing to keep aware of before we go into contact importing, if you do segment a bunch of groups, so let's say I go down to family, right? It just shows me now family. So I'm just looking at family, Paige and Mackenzie. I've got that group here. Let's say I want to, for whatever reason, I need to jump back to the home page. So I jump back to the home page, I do some other stuff. I come back to contacts and leads. You can see the segmentation is still here for family. And we do that so you can segment and then work on individual things within a contact, maybe assign Mackenzie to a property detail report, assign Paige to a market tracker, a market report. And every time you come to this page, you don't have to re-segment and research for the people you just want to see. So to clear that up, you would just go to here and then hit all groups. Same thing if you're using the find tool. If I click on find, and maybe I've got here Paige, and I click search, now every time I come in here, it's just going to show me Paige until I clear that search. I click on find, I click reset, and I click search, and everybody shows up. So that's just how the platform works. Once you know it, you won't have a problem looking around and finding people. You'll just need to take a little time and make sure you understand how that works. All right, real quickly, let's talk about contact import. Okay, we did a lot of this last week, and what we want to do is import contacts from another service. It could be Buffini CRM, it could be RMLS, it could be Top Producer. So once you have the contacts from that other system exported, when you do that export, you will find that you will end up with a CSV file. Okay, the CSV file is just a simple spreadsheet, but it's basically how those contacts get exported. So whatever group that you're using, let's say it's RMLS, you click export, you go to contacts, you click on which ones you want to export, and then down in your browser, it'll pop open a CSV file that it downloads into your machine. Once you have that file, let me show you how to get that file into the platform. I go to contacts and leads, and I go down to contact import and export. And then from here, I've got 6 or so screens that I'm just going to walk through. This will take you 5 or 6 minutes. It shouldn't take you 30 minutes, right? It should just take you a few minutes to do, but once you do it, you never have to do it again. So take the time and do it correctly, but do it one step at a time. So I'll walk you through it here, and then we'll take questions for this session. Import contacts. I click on next. Now the system asks me, what kind of a file am I going to import? Outlook and Gmail files are a little particular, so I want to know if they came from those two things. Or you can just upload a straight Excel file. If you manage your clients right now in just an Excel file, you can totally upload one of those. That's easy. But in most cases, you will select number 4, which is just says a CSV file from any other source. So this would be RMLS, Top Producer, Buffini, any contact management system that you have right now, ACT, whatever. It would be a CSV file from any other source. And then I click on Next. Now it asks me to go find the file. So I'm going to go into my computer. I know it's on my desktop because for me, that's where I put it to remember where it was. And I click Open. Okay, so now basically what you need to do is tell me where all these columns of data go in my system. You know, and this may look daunting, but it's not. It's really not difficult at all. You've got all of this data, and for a lot of you, this will go to the right even more than it does now, because you'll have more columns and fields. Basically, I'm just going to take this drop down here, and these are all the places in my data that data can go. And if I don't want to import a specific field, let's say over here, it was a field that I no longer needed, or I didn't want to put in the platform, or I couldn't find a place for it, I would just leave this drop down exactly like it is. So here, this is first name. I'll click on first name. I scroll down to there. Last name. I'll scroll down to last name. Street address. I scroll down to street address. This is city address. I'll scroll down to city address. Make sure that you're putting all of them in home or business or other for addresses so they're all consistent and the same. Okay? And you'll have multiple addresses for every person. Just make sure you choose which ones are business and which ones are home. Pretty straightforward. So this is the state piece of the import. So I click on state. Whoops, did I click on business? I did. See, that's the kind of mistake that we can make. So state for home, and then this is the zip code, and so I'll click on zip for home. Okay. This is the email, and so I scroll down and I say that's email. This is the mobile phone. You can see this is not very daunting at all, but you gotta take a few seconds to get it right. This is the business phone. How do I know that? This little header right here, all of your data will have this little header that tells you the name of this for the existing platform that you're trying to export from. And many times we'll try and match it up, but we're never perfect. So make sure that you go through each one of these. This is the spouse name. That's easy. Now, this one here is a good example. In the data that I exported, let's say it was from RMLS, it had a field that said spouse email. Well, my database, the Vault, does not have a field that says spouse email, but it does have email 2 and email 3 for every contact record. So in this case, I would just kind of use logic, and logic would tell me, well, spouse email would be email 2. That's how I'm going to put it in the system. I scroll down, I click email 2. So sometimes you just need to look at it and say, okay, I definitely do want this field. So if I want that, I'm going to have to say, all right, spouse email is going to be email 2. That makes sense. So I'm done mapping all my data. If your data goes too far to the right, you'll see a slider down here, and you can just slide to the right, just do them one at a time. Again, even the biggest file is not going to take you more than 4 or 5 minutes to put this thing through, make sure it's all good, and then we click on Next. So when we do that, now I ask you, how do you want me to handle duplicates? I give you 4 options. So when I'm importing this file into the Vault, do you want me to update the existing contact field? In other words, this would basically mesh 2 different sets of data together if I see a duplicate. This next one here, replace the entire contact record. That's if the record in the Vault that's there now is like an old record. Maybe it's one of the old records from Delta that you haven't updated in 3 or 4 years. You know that the new stuff you're importing is better. And so if it finds a duplicate, you want it just to override. The third one, ignore duplicates, don't import them. Or the fourth one, allow duplicates to be created. Don't be scared by this fourth one. We've had people go through, allow duplicates, in even 1,000 contact records. If you just sort by last name and just scroll through them 1 or 2 pages at a time and delete the duplicates on the fly, you can see what group they're part of. You can make sure that the data's in there. Still won't take you more than 10 or 15 minutes. And then you've got it done, right? You've got it done with a really clean database. So I'm going to put allow duplicates to be created. Then we have the fail-safe. The fail-safe is I want you to put these into a group. And the reason I want you to put them into a group is just in case you imported the wrong list, just in case you mapped the fields incorrectly, just in case you want to do it all over again. If it's in a group, then you can just go select the group, select all the contacts, delete them, takes you 2 seconds, and then try it again. If you don't put them in a group, then they're all going to be commingled with all your existing contacts in the system. So even though I really brought this point home last week, put all your imports into a group, I still had people in the sessions that said, oh, I don't need to do that, and did it wrong and mapped the fields incorrectly. One gentleman completely forgot the email address, and he didn't put them in a group, and so they were all commingled. Now there was only 150 contacts in there, but he had to go through all of those then and kind of pull them out. It's just kind of a pain. So I'm going to click on create a new group. I can create a group right on the fly. So I'll put 1220 import session, and then I'm going to click next. I'm going to click finish, and I am done. Now, if you've got a couple thousand records, it's going to take a minute or so, maybe 45 seconds to process all those. But for most of you, it should just chew for 3, 4, maybe 10 seconds. Gives you a nice little report. If you have contacts that did not import, let's say they were duplicates, and I said don't import duplicates, I can look at them, and it gives me the reason why, or I can download them, and so I have a separate file of just those duplicates. Okay? So, really nice little system, tons of fail-safes, right? Lots of different fail-safes. I click OK, and then I'm done. I refresh my screen, and look, 1220 import session right there. That's my new contact group. Those are the ones that I brought into the platform, and you're good to go.